All right, welcome back, terrestrials. Thank you to all the new subscribers. If you're seeing this video, just hit the subscribe button. You don't have to watch our shit. You don't have to put the bell. Just helps us get to people that might like our things. Um, in this video, we're doing the Nosferatu.
All right.
Um, Jerry, what do you think? What do you think?
I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C plus. Where are you
I
going?
just finished this about an hour ago. Um, So it really hasn't had a ton of time to sink in.
Oh, oh yeah, I'm about a week and a half. So
Yeah. I think that I think I gotta give it a would you give it
C plus,
C plus? Yeah.
better than average.
Okay. Just so barely.
Right.
I think I gotta go I think I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay. Just a
Yeah.
flat B.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of want to give it a B plus, but I feel like my instinct is B, so
All
that's what I'm
right.
gonna stick with.
Why are you like? All right. What makes it better than average? Because like we gave like long legs, and we gave substance, and like all of those like B's, like in the B range.
I think we gave Substance A's.
No, we gave them B's.
Well,
Maybe you
um,
gave it an A, but
I'm
I
I
remember
don't know.
B's. So
Um, well, I think it really came down to atmosphere and
okay,
sound for me.
yeah,
Um, there were the score to this movie was absolutely beautiful.
yeah,
It was haunting. It was just everything. Like they could have made this movie a silent film, and the music would have carried this. So like I have the score downloaded on my phone, and I listen to it.
that's cool.
It's very good.
Yeah,
The atmosphere is really good. Um, I think that those are the biggest things for me that I loved the
right.
most.
Cinematography is beautiful.
Right.
Acting is decent.
Yeah.
Like there's just like, but I've noticed like that's been like across the boards. Like we've been watching these really nice movies lately and shit, and like I was just like, I don't know. I think I'm like cinematography, sound design, fucking like acting. Like I need to see something cruddy or something here soon. Like
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's a little out of Video Waste's character to be doing so many good movies in a row.
right, right,
Normally we need to find a Chris Kattan movie, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but
I
I
need
think that yeah, go ahead.
I need some neon blood. I
Yeah,
need some like big boobied ladies trying to run upstairs instead of out the front door. I
right.
need like a gargoyle coming out of the swamp that you can still see the zipper on it and shit.
Yeah,
Fucking,
right.
I need some crud. But back to the positives of
Hmm.
this movie, because
Yeah.
that's a negative towards me. Like that I can't judge a movie because
You can't
I'm
hold that
fucking
against the
tired
movie.
of all of this
Right.
greatness. Like
Right,
there's too
yeah.
much fucking great out there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know,
This is definitely not your wheelhouse. Coming from
no,
somebody
no.
who is obsessed with full moon and, trauma and things like that.
Correct.
Like this is very out of your wheelhouse, so it's probably uncomfortable for
Right.
you.
Oh yeah, it's been
Uh,
totally like I
so,
guess, I'll give it a B or whatever. No,
well,
but
I mean that's kind of what you just did. You gave it a C because you're sick of good movies.
no, I
But
gave it a C because of other where
is
like
it
the
is it
negative.
I
Why
can
it's
guess one of the things that you
okay.
gave it, which is super ironic. But go,
What's
you want me to give you
yeah,
want me to
I want you to take a guess. What
Is it Orlok's mustache?
no, it's not Orlok's mustache. I kind of enjoyed that because it's something different. Also it's like, hey, look, it's paying. Oh, you can do that face all you want. No, it's not Orlok's mustache.
Because you have Orlok's mustache.
Right. No, no, he has mine. Um,
No, he's fucking 1,000 years old.
he is a
You
cartoon
have
character. He's
his.
a made up fucking character on a movie that fucking
You have his.
no, he is
Um,
mine. I've
he
had
is
this shit
eternal.
way
He is
longer than
eternal.
fucking
He
he's had it.
They called him
Um,
eternal. So
but no, it gives him new flavor, you know.
I hated
You
it.
could do
But yeah, go ahead.
million Draculas. Like you could do a million different Draculas in the world and stuff. And all them Draculas, like they're all gonna have like that similar like thing. And you couldn't do like that classic Nosferatu look with him. Or it'll be just kind of like what are you gonna do new? Give him some facial hair. Yeah, shit. Why not? But like he was fine. Like I didn't mind. I didn't like hate him. I thought I was really gonna hate him. The voice a little like overcooked,
Oh,
but I
dude,
didn't
I
hate
loved
it.
it. I
I
loved
don't.
it.
It became a cartoon character.
The thing that I didn't like was the breathing. Like
I don't mind the breathing,
there's no reason for the vampire to have health problems.
bro.
Like you're eternal,
I
bro.
have emphysema.
Right? Yeah. Like no. But the voice, I liked it.
Smoking
It was
is
very
beach in
yeah,
here in
yeah.
Transylvania.
Yeah. Um
I kept on making fun of like, look at motherfuckers rolling R's to words that don't even have R's and shit. The
uh
turnpike. And I was just like when Jonathan first walks into the fucking count's fucking castle
uh
and he starts talking,
Thomas.
it was the first time I've ever heard the voice. And I was like, you are fucking kidding me. You are
Thomas.
fucking kidding. That's where we're going. Okay. Okay. Fucking
I don't
let's
know.
do it.
I enjoyed it because, we've heard like you mentioned with the facial hair, we've seen and heard a lot of Draculas.
Right.
We've 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 experienced a lot of them.
A lot of Draculas. Right.
I think that this one, the sound, the way he spoke was very like it was it was drawn out. It was, everything was elongated, but it also kind of wasn't. He was just talking slow. He was talking slow. Maybe it was because he couldn't breathe. But
Yeah,
you
maybe.
know,
I don't know.
it got to me at first. I was like, but then as it continued, like later in the movie, like by towards the climax of the movie, where he's like, in 2 more nights, then like I was like, yeah, all right,
Right.
I get it. Like I'm into it now. It took a long time, but like I'm into it now. I like it. The
Okay.
breathing's annoying, whatever. But I thought it was a good thing, and what I was expecting from the movie, because I had only watched the preview one time, that was it, and I didn't remember it. I was
Right.
expecting what I thought was coming was a very charismatic, because in the book he's very charismatic.
Gary
He
Oldman. Gary Oldman, like that's always the go-to in my brain.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Gary Oldman's character is more akin to the
Like,
book.
yeah, when he's even old,
Mhm,
like he's seduction of like Jonathan, like
mhm.
welcome to my home. He's happy and shit, not like like a grumpy old bastard and shit. Fucking,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
try again. Thomas.
Thomas Jonathan
Thomas. Jonathan is the guy who died, wife and kids died. Thomas is the guy that goes to the castle.
in the book,
Um,
it's Jonathan.
right. In the movie that we're reviewing,
Right.
it's Thomas.
Every
Um,
Dracula is a Dracula, so like I like
Then
that's
fuck it. Let's just
yeah.
not finish this
Let's
shit.
talk about
Cause,
Dracula.
cause fucking, why would we care? Cause it's, if you've seen one, you've seen them
Okay,
all. Who gives a shit?
basically.
Yeah. All right. So no more
But no,
remakes ever
yeah,
again.
no more remakes.
But yeah, no,
But
I think, no, because I'm not gonna let you run off on a tangent about other Dracula movies because you watched 9 Dracula movies before we did this review.
yeah,
No, I think that the world building was really good. I don't
mm,
know how they went about getting that old cityscape, that old
don't matter. It
urban.
looked amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
exactly.
even like small things, like when he goes and the locals, like
Mhm,
every background actor in this,
mhm,
amazing. Fucking everybody on the Demeter, all them sailors and shit, amazing looking,
mhm. Yeah.
amazing. Fucking the locals, like when they're going around and they got to put the Virgin on a white horse to scare out the dead people and stuff. That was so awesome. I
Yeah.
loved every fucking like background actor. My favorite shot of this movie, like bar none, is when the rich people kick them out of their house and they're wandering around the street like a bunch of junkies and they're
Mhm,
just shit going on crazy in the
mhm.
fucking town because of
Yeah.
the plague. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's so fucking cool. I love that shit.
And they looked scared,
Yeah.
which was like, well, not so much Thomas. He was
They
kind of
look
out
dope
of it,
sick.
but yeah, he looked dope sick.
Like
Um,
she's just he's just hanging on to her and she's, don't worry, baby. Wait till we get to
yeah.
the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking,
yeah.
I got to check.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just geeking out about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that world building that they did was impressive.
right.
The CGI in this, like the rats, the far off distance
It's fine.
tower and stuff, it all looked good. It
Yeah.
served its purpose. The only thing that really got me, and I leaned back and forth on it, was when they were in the carriage ride and Jonathan's all like sad because his family died and everything. Looking out the window, looking out the window was fucking horrible. And I don't know if they were trying to show the imperfection of glass at that time, so it was like
Maybe.
distorted the images or whatever, but it looked like it was filmed with the first VHS handy cam ever seen in life. Like
Yeah.
and I try to I want to lean more to that's what they were doing, was showing the imperfection of glass,
Yeah.
but when they were riding, I was like, I am distracted by this. Like I cannot follow this scene right now. Like I get it, sad boy sad, and everybody else,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But I think that also goes back because this is like a perfect recreation of the 1922 Nosferatu. That's why it's Jonathan and Count Olaf instead of like, with the proper names from Dracula,
Mhm.
because they couldn't get the rights when they made the original movie. But I think with like scenes like that, because I know Edgar, no, is Edgar Williams? No, I mean, what
Robert
was
Eggers.
Robert Eggers? Yeah. Um, I know he's really big on like keeping up like classic style. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's just like a cart and buggy that like some guys are kind of like just
Mhm.
pushing up and down and there's a screen behind them that's just
Yeah,
going and having
yeah,
images put on it just to keep up that like this is how they did it and
yeah.
they made it an amazing movie. Why can't we fuck do the same thing and we'll just touch it up in fucking
I think you
post?
can see that in a couple of scenes,
Yeah.
where they didn't do the stairwell scene, like the infamous stairwell scene with Orlok. That
On the boat?
No,
Oh.
no, the one where he's like his shadow is creeping up the
Oh
stair.
yeah. Yeah.
They didn't do that, but they did like an homage to it, the way he reaches across the town and things like that. Like
Right.
there
Yeah.
was a lot of like respect and love given to the original
Yeah.
without going, oh, we're just going to steal this,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. And like some other positives on this where it's just like, okay, since like Bram Stoker's Dracula, Like I haven't seen a modern remake of the Dracula telling story, and it's great, where it's like, oh, good, I know this story, so yeah, throw your flair. What
Hmm.
what do you have that's different? And this is different, and I will say that is a strong positive where this movie really throws different ideas. Yeah, it's Nosferatu and not Dracula, but
Right.
if your history and stuff, you'll go, yeah, it's a Dracula. So,
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, as somebody who's read the book, like the
right,
entire beginning of this having the whatever, the Remax realtor send Thomas to Orlok's castle,
yeah,
like all that is very Dracula. But the thing where it changes and it skips a massive amount is Dracula for days and days and days is very charming and very much like, like like Orlok goes like the gypsies. I don't like them. I don't like
right,
their old rituals. I don't. He says like I don't like their old superstitions and shit like
right.
that. That was not. I mean, that was somewhat in the book. They alluded to things like that, but like there was like the wolves, the werewolves coming up the castle that they left out. Like
Yeah,
the children of the
children of
night.
the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like they left big Dracula points out, but still used the story to tell theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of pick and chose which ones they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, in in Dracula, I guess the filmmaker, I mean, the obvious big change from the story is that they go to Germany instead of England.
Right,
Makes more sense to take a boat to England than a boat to Germany,
right,
but the filmmakers of the original Nosferatu were German, so they made it in fucking Germany.
right.
Um, another, we've skipped completely over it, and my brain's like, grab it now, but fucking, I think William Dafoe is your Van Helsing in this is probably one of the best. I mean, next to some of the great Van Helsings out there, I like this Van
Hugh
Helsing a
Jackman,
lot. Huh?
Van Helsing, Hugh Jackman. But no, yeah,
I
he's
mean, he's up there, but fuck. But no, like,
um, yeah, no,
yeah,
he.
where he doesn't even have a crossbow. This is fucking fake. What a hack.
um, no, he was great. Uh, it's pretty much when you put Willem Dafoe in your movie, you all right, great job.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, you're
that gets
that's
you
the
they
winning, like,
yeah, yeah. You're not
okay,
you're
yeah,
not
you
gonna
win,
lose with
guys.
him in there.
Yeah, that's what
We've
he's.
seen that several times. Poor Things, Beetlejuice, fucking this, like anything
Mhm.
you put that man in, he's going to elevate your movie.
Fucking most.
Yeah.
Like when
So
they're
yeah.
burning down Dracula's like crates and stuff,
Mhm.
and fucking William Dafoe gets crazy eyed and shit, and he's just like, and I'm just like, yeah, he's here,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that the use of like old language and the the
Yeah,
the
okay, I know what you're
way
talking
they
about.
the way that like or Orlok speaking in old language, like this is the language of people generations before me. But then
Right.
also just, the old timey talking.
Hmm.
It was all, I mean, God, it's gotta be so hard to do that. Like, as an actor, it's got to be hard enough to remember lines and then remember lines in a way that isn't natural speaking. Like, instead of being like, oh, on the night of the third, like he was like, uh, I'll be there at the clock of 9 or something
Hmm.
like that instead of being like I'm gonna be there at 9 o'clock, cuz like it's different than you're used to, so it's got to be
Right.
even harder to memorize those lines and get it right, and then it just shows like the dedication. And Willem Dafoe obviously nailed it right off the bat, but I don't know, I think the movie was really good. I think it did a great job of bringing new stuff to the table. I guess we should get to Orlok in general. soon, but
I mean, like what? What? Like
I
I thought
fucking
we
hated.
covered. I mean,
I
Man
fucking
Hung
hated that.
Dong was
Yeah,
pretty
just
good.
naturally.
Fucking, like no,
As
you know what? Okay, no, we need to skip Orlok for a minute. We need to talk about Miss Yoga Hoser herself. What did you think of Miss Yoga Hoser?
I got so sick of seeing her cry face so fast that I was just like, I okay, so from yoga hosers to this, super upgrade, right? Like
Yeah, I will give her that.
she
Like,
did a great job, but all she did was cry.
and
Eh,
spaz, like
yeah,
her little like
so
I'm
like
possessed and stuff,
yeah.
and
So
like
like she was not every time her face came up because there's no way she compares to the 1979. Like,
no,
no, don't
not
even
even to
bother.
Winona Ryder.
No, don't even bother.
No,
So great job at like stepping up your acting from Yoga Hosers to
yeah,
this. Way to find yourself in a real movie. But also every time she showed up, I was like, and she's so important to the movie. That's the annoying thing.
right.
That's why it's not an A. Well, that mustache, and then this is why it's not an A for me
Oh, you didn't
because
like the mustache?
I fucking we'll get to it.
Okay,
But like I every time she came on, I was like, everything that she says is necessary and important, and she's delivering the line, but like I just don't want to see her no more.
yeah,
I don't
the
want to see
friend
her
was
make that
much
like
better.
fucking face all the time. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Her
Um,
friend, the blonde girl, the one that her and her children, that I like. I thought she did a pretty good acting job. I
yeah,
thought she was
yeah,
pretty good,
yeah,
and for that matter, also the aristocrat,
yeah.
shipping
Her
guy.
counter,
I thought he did a really great job,
yeah,
and our main character, okay, in the book
Thomas.
he's called Jonathan. I know, fucking, but I
Yes,
can't remember Thomas.
Thomas.
Okay.
Yes.
But I thought he did a great job too.
Mhm.
Like it's more to those like background actors. Once more, the nuns, I forgot them. Like when they take him and they put in the one nun is translating
Mhm.
and she's
Mhm.
like pleading with him to not leave.
Yeah.
I thought she did a great job. Yeah, all of the locals when he gets there and stuff, I really like them a lot. Like
There is one thing though. It's kind of Jason Takes Manhattan-ish. How
I like that
did
movie
how did Orlok leave on a ship to England days before Thomas woke up in Transylvania? And then he got on a horse and rode a horse all the way back to England somehow and just showed up and then fell off a fucking horse before or at the same time Orlok showed up. Or
because
a day or two before.
he's not going to England, he's going to Germany.
Okay, England, Germany, they're interchangeable in these movies. But the
Right.
point is, he's going back home where Orlok went. Orlok left days before on a ship. He rode a fucking horse home and he got there beforehand. Like,
Right.
that's not how time works. And that horse would be dead because he was essentially dead on top of that horse.
Right.
So if you don't think about it, fine,
I've
whatever,
heard,
move
yeah.
on. But like,
Turn your brain off on that, fucking there's a difference between like, wait
but
a
the
minute.
positive to that was when he left, he was smooth shaven. When he showed up, he had like 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, like
And I was like,
crystals.
okay, that's a good way of showing time
Right,
has
right.
passed. Not enough time for him to get there before we leave,
Right.
but
Yeah.
whatever.
It's all about like once more with, you know, the Demeter and why that's so important compared to, why is the Demeter important in this one? Even though they messed up one thing. I don't know if you saw or recognize what they messed up. Fucking what happens at the end of the Demeter?
The movie,
Yes.
he we don't know if he makes it or not.
Well, he ties himself to the wheel. Doesn't the captain tie himself to the wheel at the in all Demeters?
Are you talking about the movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, or are you
Well,
talking
that
about
that would be
in?
part of it because it's the same like,
Because I
but
almost paused it to watch the Demeter and then pick this back up.
yeah.
But no,
Yeah, I
I don't
always
remember. Oh, I think he does tie himself to the steering wheel,
yeah.
and but also in all the other Nosferatus, he doesn't. Because in the 79, the boat
79
is
he's tied to it.
no, he's vacant. The boat is completely vacant
No,
in
they
these movies.
if you
That's why
go
it
back
wrecks it.
79, he and in um
I don't remember
Bram
this.
Stoker. Bram Stoker, he ties himself to the ship because I thought that was always like the big thing where like the captain he's
Goes
afraid
down
of
with the
going to
ship.
sleep and having the ship go off course, so he ties himself to
That
the
doesn't make any sense, but
to the anchor or to the fucking not the anchor, the fucking wheel. It's a small detail. Who gives a shit? Fucking, but I noticed in this one he doesn't tie himself to it. So maybe in the
I
original he doesn't tie himself
I
like in
always
the
thought
movie.
that he cleared house and he was asleep in his chambers when the boat wrecks onto the wherever it ends up landing, like in Klaus's, it just gently touches like somebody
Yeah, it starts
professionally
banging and
paralleled
shit.
parked.
Yeah.
This one it like actually wrecked,
Yeah.
which was probably the smart way to go about that. But and then the servant comes and gets him and takes him home. Um, which it would have been kind of cool to see him with the fucking thing on the shoulder,
I
like
know.
skipping,
I was so waiting for that of
yeah,
fucking Klaus Kinski running through the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
hollow town and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
like I love that. Um
Obviously, I think this one tried to take it a little bit more, I won't say original,
serious,
but yeah,
you
serious.
know. And plus you have like these like spots like, I can see where in the 79 one they're like, okay, Dracula has to get all his shit to the house, but there ain't no one gonna be able to take it.
Yeah,
And then Klaus was just like, I'll take it, fuck it. Who cares? Come on, let's do this, guys.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think like small things like that in this movie, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
I
mean,
feel once Dracula gets to Germany, it's kind of like what are you gonna do now, Dracula? What are you gonna do and stuff? And it's just like
he wants his child bride.
I'm gonna wait 3 days for a pussy, shit like that. Fucking but like yeah, it just kind of chills out. He does the like, the 3 days, I'll make you come to me or whatever he says. And
Well, it has to be on her accord.
yeah,
Like she has to agree.
that is literally a Dracula Dead and Loving It joke. Like they literally do that joke in fucking Dracula Dead and Loving
Which
It.
one? What's the rolling the R thing?
Yeah, rolling
Yeah.
the R, fucking, you cannot go to the castle and stuff, and fucking, damn me, take the cross, and fucking slaps him and shit, and fucking, um,
Obviously, Dracula Dead and Loving It is the best Dracula movie that there ever was.
bar none,
But
fucking,
yeah,
fucking having a daymare out in the middle of the day,
yeah,
drinking wine, eating chicken.
yeah.
Love that shit.
God,
Yeah,
that movie's so funny.
That's the best Dracula
Yeah,
fucking
for
ever.
sure. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I with everything that we've said, I don't know what could possibly okay, let's go about it like this instead of me sounding like an asshole.
Okay.
Why do you give it a C? Why is it only a C to you? Because everything we've talked about has been 90% positive. I'll talk about Orlok here in a minute. Let's talk about why it's only a C for you.
Why it's only a C, middle of the
Yeah.
road, okay, right
Yeah.
there, where I'm happy I watched it,
Yeah.
but there was nothing like drawing me to wanting to keep watching it, like, or wanting like I just like it hit all of those like, wow, I like it, I like that, I like it, but
There's just wasn't
there's
enough
nothing that
explosions for you or something.
yeah, there's just fucking, there was nothing there that kind of like, oh, wow, I really love that idea. Or oh wow, I kind of like I want to watch that again. It just kind of like I'm glad I watched it, but there was just no draw. I don't know where it just like there was
I
no
understand.
draw to it,
I
you know?
understand. I think that for me, if I don't need to want to see it a second time for
Hmm.
me to give it a higher grade. Like, just because, like, you're right, this is a one and done kind of thing. Like, I might
Yeah,
watch it again, but the score was so good, the cinematography was so good, the lighting was so good, Willem Dafoe was so good. Like, there's so many aspects that I can't justify a C.
right.
So that's why I was curious as to why you justify it a C,
Go.
and so far, it's because you don't necessarily need to watch it again.
It's just that I just don't
What
like. There's
else?
nothing that like really grabbed me. Like, okay, if I
Well,
compare it to something,
none of these movies, no version of Nosferatu is going to grab you by the
mm,
balls and be like, "This is amazing," because
I will I
hold on,
debate that case, but
at the risk of sounding like a hypocrite,
right.
there is nothing special about the 79 one.
Mm,
Outside, what is it? Like,
I
because
don't know.
the
There's an aura to that fucking movie
that's
where I'm
because
watching
Klaus
it
Kinski
and
is an insane person,
Krasinski is an insane person.
and
Bernard
Herbert Herzog
Herzog is an
isn't.
insane person.
Exactly. So
And for
that's
some reason
it.
that
But you
insanity
like
just
the
speaks to
lore.
me.
You
And
like the lore of the movie, the
it's
rats, the
something about their
thousands of
his
rats, and
direction
this and that and stuff.
and
That's
like
what
I
you
don't know,
like about
it's
the
just
movie. That's why you hold it in
there's
high
just
regard.
something and
Because
there's
if
an
you cut
aura to
all
it,
that
and
out,
I'm just one
you
I
just
can't
watch
believe
the movie as it
that
is,
like
then
he
you're
couldn't
gonna
pick up
go, oh
one
yeah,
bit
that's
like
kind of
of this
all there
director
is
couldn't
to
like
it.
grab that
Because
bit of
outside of the
like
story,
I think miss opportunity by putting the that mustache on him. Bill Skarsgård is known for his facial
I think they
contort.
hid that. I
Yeah.
Googled it. I Googled
And
the cast halfway through this movie. And I was like, I thought Skarsgård was supposed to be playing him.
yeah,
I couldn't fucking tell it was him.
right. And I mean, he did such a unique job with, Pennywise
Hmm.
with his face
Hmm.
and all with only makeup and face.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, I could see the fangs. Like there
Hmm.
weren't even fangs. Motherfucker didn't even have fangs. Not
Yeah,
Dracula. He's
yeah,
just an old guy. He's just an
yeah.
old guy, not a Dracula, you know. But something interesting with the fangs
You couldn't
and the
see the fangs under the fucking mustache.
yeah, I know. Fucking but in that pale face maybe and like, give him that actor the ability to emote with his face instead of like because there's only like a couple times you really see
Mhm.
his face, like that whole dinner scene with him and you know Thomas in the
Mhm.
dinner scene and stuff. He's like behind shadow and you got him fucking silhouetted like no
Mhm.
hide the mustache until later,
Right, right, right. Because everybody's gonna laugh when they see it.
yeah, instead of
But
like
I like that they hid him. I like that it was a slow reveal. It was suspenseful because that's what everybody comes to see is like, oh, what's he gonna look like?
what's Dracula gonna look like,
And
right?
then you finally get to see him, and you're like, oh,
Dracula's a
yeah,
dick.
yeah, yeah. Dracula hangs dong,
I
and
like,
god
yeah, I like
fucking.
sexy Dracula, like in fucking Bram Stoker's and stuff. Like fucking when he was like all like he was like see me and shit, and fucking Gary Oldman was all just like he was like melting butter and shit, and it was fucking amazing. And then they were like doing fucking drugs or no, there were abstinence and or no
Yeah,
fuck what the yeah. Uh,
absent.
yeah, they were drinking that shit and like Winona Ryder was like sucking it off his finger. That was shit was amazing.
Yeah, I definitely think they could have
Super hot.
sexed him up
Yeah,
some, but
fucking
not with that mustache. You can't.
yeah.
So
Now with that shit and fucking then he's got like no ass at the end and shit.
that's
Fucking just
true.
like I know that one thing that we haven't really talked about was the Renfield character, our Renfield. And I think they did bring something new where usually it's just, I mean, a realtor goes to and he wants to buy this place, but Oh no, Renfield's been calling Dracula. He's been calling him on a Ouija board, or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
spirit board and shit.
That was a good way of getting into
Like,
it
oh,
too.
okay, that makes sense. And then he's like, I heard you were dating girlfriend, old girlfriend of mine and shit, and like he just could never get rid of it. Just like the pussy bit me once, kind of deal and shit, and fucking been thinking about it for 10,000 years. But the Renfield in this, I thought had a unique, like, what do you call it? A unique story to be told.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're dealing with some really good Renfields out there and shit. Fucking
Yeah, this guy he was good. I liked the way they wrote this Renfield, as in like, the way he interacts with the way sorry, Dracula Dead and Loving It came back in my mind. But the way he interacts with this
woo me.
Renfield, like, punish me. No, just go. Like,
Yeah,
sorry. But I think the way he interacts, the way he ties the story in, he brings Orlok into it
Dracula.
differently
Yeah.
this time. Um, I thought that was all great.
Yeah.
The guy himself did a good job. I think that they made him seem so small in this movie, even though, and he is in every movie, but he felt a bigger presence in the other movies. Like in the 79, he felt a lot bigger.
That and then like I'll always go to Tom Waits. I mean, fucking you got Tom Waits fucking playing Renfield and
Right, of course,
Bram
yeah, for sure.
Stoker's, and he just does a great job of like portraying mentally insane,
Yeah,
and like I enjoy that a lot. So,
yeah,
but as that character, it was pretty good. He's pretty good and stuff.
yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you see, you mentioned the graveyards. Yeah, if you need to hit a graveyard, make a graveyard look good and ghouly and fucking,
It was very
you
well
know,
done. The graveyard, it's gray, it's
right.
drabby, it felt very realistic.
Yeah.
I
Now,
enjoyed it.
one question I've been thinking about, and I wanted to touch bases on this. Okay, so this was the big one. This was the big one for 2024 this year. Was it worth the hype?
See, the only hype for that I got from the only hype that I was aware of was the soundtrack or the score.
No, I
The
mean
the
like everybody talking about like, oh man, he's doing Nosferatu, he's doing Nosferatu,
who,
and like,
Robert Eggers?
yeah, yeah,
I
like
didn't,
I was hearing it like, through the forums, and
you
people were
know,
really psyched about seeing Robert Eggers Nosferatu. I mean, shit, they were talking about it like, oh my God, William Dafoe's involved and stuff.
yeah,
And
see, I didn't get into all the hype. I kind of stayed away from it. Like I heard, he's doing it, everybody's excited. We're going to see what it is.
okay,
That was the extent of it. I didn't really dive into I or read into any of it.
right,
But was it worth the hype? Kind of. Like
okay,
it was a really, really beautifully done movie.
yeah,
I think that it's kind of getting robbed because of the past ones. Um and the little Depp girl, like, these are things that are hindering this one. And but if you took this movie in, like, I watched it in the dark, like I
of
watched
course,
it
yeah.
loud, and with the sound bar, it's booming. Like, this is a theater movie.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that it was kind of worth the hype. Obviously, I don't imagine you do.
I don't know. That's why I asked the question because, like, I did hear a lot of people, like, like
Maybe that's
where
why you have a lesser opinion of it than I do.
might be that where, like, I've seen with Long Legs and The Substance and other movies that came out this year, horror related.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, those kind of feel because I guess they're different, they're original stories and things like that. This is just a remake or a reboot, however you want to, but I felt like a lot of people were talking about this movie. Did it deliver? It was, there was something delivered, but was it delivered to what I was thinking? Like, I'm not sure. Like, I have to come back on that answer. Like, I
Okay,
gotta,
so let's break that down, right? So
okay,
like
break it down.
long legs, I got zero information walking into that.
Correct.
So okay, it was good. All right, it was fun. Like we've talked about it, watched the review. The Substance. I knew dick about this movie until you said, I'm really excited to see The Substance. And I said, oh word, I'll have to look into it.
It's the, yeah.
I didn't watch the trailer. I just walked right into it.
Right.
So again, two movies that I thought in high regard, I had no clue about. I just
hmm
watched. This one, I know the story, I know the source material, I know what to expect in some fashion, and it still held its own against these other two movies that are original stories.
Okay.
That to me means that this is a strong movie.
Okay.
Now, you may have bought into the hype, or not bought into it, but
Not about it, but just like
been
I
affected
hear
by
what
it.
you're saying, y'all are
Right,
saying
right,
and
right,
stuff,
right.
and
You may
I'm
have taken it
kind of
in
getting that
and then
excitement feeling like,
right,
oh yeah, this is gonna
but you
be like
might have held that against this movie.
right, right. Yeah, I
And
can
your
see
love
that.
for the other one held against this movie.
Yeah. Like,
So
oh, it's gonna be tough to beat.
right. So like I think that for me, I way back when you said, "Ooh, the trailer's out,"
hmm
and I was like, "Oh, word!" And I watched it that one time, like 6, 7 months ago, and like when it first dropped, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, I can't wait to see this."
Right.
That was it. And then I started hearing about the score. I downloaded the score before I saw the movie. I've been listening to the score for longer than the movie's been out.
Right.
So then when I go to watch the movie, I'm that's why I'm so like score focused.
Yeah.
But also everything else, like I could have done with zero conversation in this movie. Like if you could figure out I could play the score while muting the movie, I would do it because I think that it works so well that
hmm
in that fashion that like the visuals, the facial expressions of like the little Depp girl, like they sell. I just don't want to hear her whimper and whine anymore. Like Jonathan's facial expressions towards the end just says it all.
hmm
Thomas, like everybody does great. I don't think that words were necessary in this movie. So I think that it was definitely worth the wait for me. It was worth the hype for me because I didn't know about any of the hype.
Right.
So the
Right.
only
Yeah.
hype is me giving it hype, not me hearing hype and then going, oh, all right. Because that always ruins a movie. Doesn't matter how much,
Yeah.
like, whether you form your own opinions or not. If somebody's like, this movie's the greatest movie, you're gonna, and then it like
Excitement
they
of
make one continuity thing. You're like, that fucking sucks.
yeah.
That movie sucks. Your
It's
opinion
a
sucks
fucking
because,
hack.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, where like you hear about it and you're starting to get excited, oh great, you know, big budget horror movie coming to the theater, it usually riles the horror fans up and it's like, oh man, that's awesome. Too bad this thing lost to fucking Sonic 3, it's
yeah,
like where it
right,
like disappeared because of Sonic 3.
right,
But then you catch the movie and once more, I don't know. Like, I think what I really need to do with this, and I've said this a million times, is I need to wait till like the summer where I've like exhausted myself on like fucking 1980s movies. And I was like, you know, something, I need to watch something artistic. I need to watch something artistic, something that's going to make me, what's that word called? Feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me throw
Remember
this on
feelings?
and yeah, and throw that on and see if it clicks those
It
boxes that
also
aren't clicked, you
it
know,
also might be falling victim to the substance and long
long
legs.
legs. And
I
I'll
think
even put like Romulus
right,
and
exactly. The further you can separate yourself from that,
right.
then and also again make sure you're watching it on big TV, sound
Of
bar,
course.
loud, in the dark. I think all that adds to it and it's very important for this
Mm-hmm.
movie. That's why I say this movie is a theater movie because all those aspects lend it to being the way it should be seen.
Right.
It feels like a very big movie
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a small TV, but I don't have a massive TV, and I just felt like I was watching it on a phone.
Mm.
I'm watching it on a 55-inch TV, but I felt like I was watching it on a phone. I felt like there was so much more to it, and as soon as I turned the lights off, I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
There's the rest of the movie. Like I needed to put myself like there. And so yeah, I think, midsummer when it starts to get chilly even, um,
Yeah,
watch
this
it
might be a
again.
good like, Halloween, revisit kind of movie.
Yeah, I
Because I
mean,
mean, Dracula movies always in a like the fall and
mhm,
during Halloween time always just feel right, you know.
mhm.
So, oh, but in that case, Jacob,
In that case for the 2-hour review.
right? Theater
Yeah, absolutely.
disappointed. Yeah, I didn't see it in the
Yeah,
theater.
yeah, I should have seen it in the theater, yes.
Okay. I will say yes,
Right.
but I'm saying yes as in like just the experience of going to the theater and getting one of those like $75 popcorn Count Olaf buckets and shit,
Mhm.
that, I guess you open it up and like Count Olaf's dong, like it makes the popcorn,
Right. Right.
like it
It just
butters
goes
it.
like this
It
and you
butters it.
and
Goes,
then like
the butter on the popcorn is me
the tip
calm,
the tip brings you one piece each
Right.
time and you
Right.
just right off the top of it.
Yeah, they had to do something to deal with that goddamn popcorn bucket from Dune 2. Physical
That
copy.
also was a dick. Yeah, well, obviously I have a physical copy.
Yeah. I do not have a physical copy. I might get one. I'm not sure, but I know get them while they're hot. So,
It has a feature commentary and some deleted scenes. How's the extended cut got deleted scenes? God damn it!
those were scenes they weren't going to use. That's the deleted scenes are the ones where they didn't add Olaf's voice and
Of
mustache.
those are the ones with the fucking Skarsgård running through the fucking town like
Where
that.
he's got like that high pitch fucking normal voice that he
Pennywise
has.
voice.
Like,
Oh.
yeah, the Pennywise voice and
Mhm.
stuff. You
Just
called me
Robert Eggers
Lord.
berating him for fucking still doing Pennywise.
Right, yeah. Um, but you see it as a cult classic.
Good question. I don't know. There's yes and no. Like I think in time possibly, but also no because it's such a cinematic.
Yeah, it's too big.
It's too strong. It's too
Too strong.
strong to
It's
ever
too
go
strong.
classic.
Yeah, like I think people will still be talking about this until they remake and the next Bram Stoker's Dracula and the next,
Right.
whatever vampire in there. Fucking
They
like
need to. Well, no, they don't. I was gonna say they need to take another shot at Dracula Dead and Loving It, but no, they don't.
no, Mel
They,
Brooks is like 98 years old, so no.
he just made the History of the World Part Two. So what? He ain't gonna stop till
Yeah.
he's fucking. They're gonna have to put a stake in his heart to make him stop making movies.
Yeah. Um, you recommend it.
Of course, yeah.
I will
I think so.
recommend this. I will definitely recommend this to people. So I think, like, I think it's part of the history of horror where we're at that new era. We talk about the new era of horror all the time, and I think this is definitely like, okay, we're getting good. We are getting fucking. There's fire on that smoke. There's
Yeah,
smoke